You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our Sex Podcast Collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Horny Housewife podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, or welcome. Making your Mondays just a little bit better, or a little bit better. I'm going to start off with what's drying me up and what's rocking my world. That'll be like the perfect transition into like a little lifey updatey, which, real quick, promise. Got a guest. She's fun. I bet a lot of my audience, I wouldn't be surprised if they knew who she was. Cassidy Bybee. She's very polarizing. I mean, I can be polarizing like she is polarizing. And her channel is a great resource to literally, you know how I say beducated, you get the visual so you can understand. You get the visual with Cassidy Bybee so you understand as far as sex toys, sex swing. I didn't know I wanted a sex swing, you know, it just intimidating, and I think of it. And then I watched her and I'm like, you know what? She really put the visual together for me, and I can relate to her in ways. I'm like, and if she can do that, then I can do it. It looked intimidating. The girls that were doing it were just like, you know, maybe I put them on a pedestal, or they're nothing like me. And then I look at a mom, a wife, a baddie, and I'm like, you know, I can do that. Are people so, I don't have a sex swing? I don't have one. Cassidy Bybee, everybody, get ready. We're going to do the fact that she lives in Utah. I go, were you a Mormon? Are you a Mormon? Of course she was. Of course she was. Leaving the church, or like what that looked like for her growing up one way. She was very transparent. She was very vulnerable. Truly someone who showed up wearing her heart on her sleeve. She's so easy to listen to. She's just a good time, and she's one hell of a businesswoman. So stay tuned for my talk with her. We're going to get to know her, and we're going to get to know that she knows what the fuck she's talking about. So first, this listener question, possibly plural depending on how fast I get through the first one, and then Cassidy Bybee. So get comfy, 10 and 2 if you're on the car, blankie, a joint, a glass of Savvy B, a mocktail, some warm tea, whatever you choose, whatever you like, whatever you're in the mood for. Let us begin. What's drying me up? What's drying me up this week? Gravity. The next one's more serious. Gravity is drying me up because I don't understand. Gravity's been taking a toll on my face. It's been taking a toll on all the things around me. Why doesn't it take a toll on men's penises is also something I was thinking about. Like, part of us, like, we shrink. Things are not the same as they used to be. And you see your old self with just a little tug of the face. I'm aging backwards, I'm aging backwards, I'm aging backwards, I'm aging backwards, I'm aging back. I'm Benjamin Button, I'm Benjamin Button, I'm Benjamin Button. You know, got to put it out there in the universe. But gravity picks and chooses. It's funny. I'm using retinol to find it. But 30 to 34 didn't look or feel the same as this 35 to 36. Just slipping off my feet. I'm attacking it hard. I'm working tirelessly to fight gravity. So, what's rocking my world? I'm going to give some bonus points, a little star, stick it off, peel it off, and put it on his forehead. It's becoming more and more like the closet every day around here. If you know, you know. The real ones, the OGs of the THH pod will know. My husband gets a gold star here, and right down here. The patience that he has given me, this is new. If you listen to the Patreon, you might say that it's been sporadic. The last few months, I uploaded 2 new sexy stories for you this weekend. And the quickies have been few and far in between. And I'm about to do an update over there that I'm probably going to regret uploading. where I do a real, like a little more stripped, a little more vulnerable, a little more raw life update. And I possibly might include my skincare routine at the end. Not trying to toot my own horn by any means, but again, tirelessly working. I'm not even wearing foundation, so I mean, I could give myself a little pat on the back. People have been asking more frequently, but like not enough to like where like everybody's been asking me, and I know most of my audience is boys, men. So I'm not going to be annoying, but if you're on the Patreon and you're a girl, at the end of my life update, I will possibly tell you all the things that you really need to do, and it doesn't include going to Sephora and having a 9-step skincare routine. So men listening, like I'm actually helping you and your wallet by letting her know you don't need all that. Maybe not your wallet in the long run, but okay. Back to rocking my world. We reached a little bit of a fork in the road, like a little bit of okay, decisions need to be made of like how we're going to do this. Like we've been really intentional. Every marriage has its issues. Like if you're married a long term, like you're two separate people. This is why this podcast fucking exists. Okay. The people that listen to this podcast want to stay married and they want to have a sex life that they actually like. They don't want to be a statistic. They don't want it to be mediocre. They want to feel fulfilled in some capacity. And then a part of this journey, like if you've been here since year one, you're seeing me have the human experience, but something that I've learned is just, it really, as cliche and corny and cheesy as it sounds, it really all boils down to like how you show up as an individual and like the work you're going to do, right? Because I think there's a point in time where you start learning, I would hope that you start learning why you are the way that you are, like how you can kind of like connect some dots and understand things like how you grew up shaped who you are and how you respond to certain situations, etc. And it just kind of, it is what it is. We don't have to like label it something. We don't have to like say we're a victim of something. Like we could have what we consider like a really great, awesome childhood, but still know that there were like maybe certain dynamics and patterns, right? I don't need to keep going. And so it's our job as an adult to take accountability because, oh my gosh, it show like how you show up in your marriage, in any relationship for that matter, but especially with your lover, the person you're with, I would assume the majority of the time, more than anybody else, right? I would hope that's like a really meaningful, I know girls have some like really deep relationships, like we're like sisters, or you have sisters and it looks different, but they're your lover, your spouse, someone who you were choosing to do and build life with. It's very important. So back to me, you're like, man, this did transition. Where are we? We're lost, Jordy Cakes. I noticed because of this fork in the road we came to, and my husband being such a willing husband, there's not a lot of men who will go to individual therapy. There isn't. I mean, I know there is, but there's a lot of men, his age especially, that are like, this is going to sound terrible. No, that wasn't calling him old, but like we're millennials. He's like right on the cusp, but he's 40, a millennial and Gen X that are just like, this is what you get. This is what I am. This is what you get. And I just want to tell you, it can be so much better. It can be so much better. Now, maybe you're a reader. Maybe like you actively seek you value self-improvement. So it doesn't have to just be therapy, okay? Maybe that's not your jam. But like something that's in alignment with self-improvement. I think that's really important because sometimes I think men, like my husband is very career focused and does a damn good job at it. I think a lot of men can put their identity in that of like, that's where the improvement occurs. And if you're just leaving it up to your wife, if you have the privilege of having a wife who seeks self-improvement, which I hope all women do, but is really on top of watering the marriage, the physical intimacy, all the things. And so you kind of lean on her to be that waterer while you're focused over here. That's going to run up. Okay. She doesn't want to keep asking for the same things. She doesn't want to ask you to pull out the chair. I saw, I have to tie this up to go there. Landing the plane this weekend, times that I feel like something triggered me that was totally a me trigger. And I wasn't acting crazy, but like a trigger, like where I got a little tude shifted, a little tone change, a little irritation peeked through. Nothing crazy, but like enough where he could recognize a tone shift or an insecure comment follows. And we've had a bad pattern of, instead of like I'm wanting to be seen and be heard, that I didn't like something like that. Or maybe I don't even want to expect, I just articulate that and have been met with like defensiveness or in like, that's not true. This is that. And I just want like a little tenderness, validation, and talking it through. And anytime that I was like really like, and I had a really wonderful weekend, but there were a few moments I thought of, and he really just showed up for me in the exact way that I needed and was patient, super patient with me. And when I get that, so this is a very personal rocking of the world this week. Maybe you can all relate to gravity, and maybe a select few of you women can relate to what I'm saying. When your spouse shows up for you in like a certain way, that he was just patient, right? To him, he was like, oh, and I was just chill and kind of like saw it from your lens, tried something new. And you know how quick that makes me feel, like remorse even? I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry I just took that tone. Or like, you were right. I was being insecure. And I can get there personally so much quicker when there's a little compassion there. And that can even be annoying, but that result is so much better than two people like trigger, defensive. You know what I mean? It's exhausting. And it was really what I needed at the right time. So 5 bonus points for you. And we had a weekend that was connecting emotionally and physically, and it was exactly what I needed to feel hope, to feel hope again. When you keep missing the mark, when you feel like you keep miscommunicating and you know it's all going to boil up to something and you don't know what, it can be scary. And I know that every single married person listening can relate to that. And sometimes it's not fun to share. Like, I host this podcast and it terrifies me to get vulnerable like this because I'm afraid of what other people would think, because I'm afraid to show the cracks in my own situations, because I feel insecure that there are people who would relish in that. Like, okay, she was really honest. Cut it. Just kidding, leave it. But yeah, so good God help us for the Patreon. Good God help us. But yeah, so, and that wasn't me trying to be like, so if you want to go subscribe to the Patreon, I mean, she is a businesswoman of sorts as well. Mama's got to keep the lights on. Just kidding. That's like totally not my job, but I do want to fight gravity. Wink. But yeah, life update, skincare routine, and slutty stories coming your way. Now, before we move on to listener questions, let's circle back to pulling out a chair. What? I saw a TikTok or it actually wasn't, but that segment means it could be any fucking video that I saw on the internet. I think it was an Instagram post or a reel, and it was the caption, and I was like, I read it once, so I'm going to do a horrible job, and I'm going to paraphrase. It said, if you have to come in and consistently ask someone to pull out a chair for you, you're at the wrong table. You should be sitting at a table where you're welcomed and wanted and desired, and the people that love you. And what do we do when we see someone that needs help that we care about? We offer them help. That's common fucking courtesy. So if anyone listening can relate to that feeling, you better fucking tell them. And if you are getting this little feeling of guilt of maybe I haven't been chair pulling, then you need to go fucking start opening some doors, carrying some groceries, offering some assistance. See that you see them tired from their long shift at work. Does your husband do blue collar work? Is he using his, if he uses his mind? Does your husband have a challenging job? Quit expecting him to come in and just be completely on. I'm talking to you and me, okay? Sometimes we all need decompressing time. And I may have ruffled some feathers. There are women who are with the babies all day and they're like, you're with adults all day. Get your ass in and help me. We should just take a moment to acknowledge one another's experience and that we can't compare them because they're so different. Hard is relative, right? Yours is hard for many reasons. And his is also taxing, draining in other ways. And maybe his job is like super fucking easy and he like just like sits on his ass 9 to 5 and it's like bare minimum. So like, I'm not trying to talk for you because there are some people that I'm like, shut the fuck up. You are dreading coming home. You know it's going to be totally holy shit chaos when you get home. And you just came from like the best corporate, easy breezy job, schmoozing, rubbing elbows, cafeteria, shut the fuck up. But I don't want to like invalidate anybody's feelings or job duties. Pull out the chair. Like, what does pull out the chair mean? I'm stupid and listen to this podcast. It means like beyond common courtesy, but also like emotionally, all of the things. Common courtesy meaning like physically. Do you see her coming in with a load? Imagine coming in always going, help me do this. Help me. Can you pull out a chair for me? Can you have manners? And that's, I guess, taking it literally when I think they more meant like figuratively. I think it was just a metaphor or an example. What's the word I'm looking for? A comparison, an analogy for if you have to keep asking to be loved, he or she is really going to start longing to be around somewhere where they're recognized. We can give feedback, right? But if all you hear from the other person is criticism, think of what that does. And there's couples that get in this dynamic where one person feels like they're never doing enough, oftentimes the man, when they feel like they're doing so much. And the woman just feels like, oh, he's missing the mark because it's not that, it's this. Those aren't the things I want him to be doing, but he's still doing them. And he still truly feels like he's giving effort because he is. And if you can't really get to common grounds of understanding, it is what it is, and these are needs she has in marriage, and really find out what her needs and wants, and also come in with realistic expectations. You know, it isn't just you two on an island. There's a lot of factors. So I'm doing this with you. I'm in it with you. I think I want to have Derek on the podcast. I was like, I think you need to come on. It feels good to talk about something when you feel like good about it. Like when you feel hopeful, when you feel like, okay, I'm learning a lot, or like now there's a little more hindsight versus hopeless or confused, or like I'm struggling with imposter syndrome, feeling fraudulent, which you're going to hear in this episode when I talk to Cassidy, her sharing something, her own marriage situation, which was a little more extreme, but it was super cool that she shared it, and just goes to show that people have messaged me, but you probably just have the perfect sex life. Like, oh, Derek's a lucky man. He must just like get the horny housewife all the time. Incorrect. Yes, he is a very lucky man. But like, boy, oh boy, life knocks me off my feet sometimes. Sometimes I don't even recognize. I said gravity. I think for the first time, I'm the person who has been like, I don't understand like the hormonal things. Like I haven't really felt the negative effects of aging hormonally. Punch me in the face. And I'm starting to feel like, okay, like I really want to take my health seriously because this stuff feels like it takes more work than ever before. I am a human woman, which I know that you always knew, but I think it's really easy to look at certain niches in podcasts or on social media and think that like, well, then they must be perfect at that. And maybe y'all weren't assuming that. You're like, no, bitch, we hear you talking to me. Like, we know. We know. That's why we love you, because this is why I love you and you love me. We're keeping it real. We're keeping it sisterly. I'm your sister. I'm your little sister. I'm your big sister. I think I'm still your little sister. I think y'all are still older than me. I have age blindness, and I think everybody is older than me. Do y'all have that too? Does that ever go away? Or is it like a protection thing? Is this how we stay safe? Or is this how we continue to get humbled? Like, bitch, I'm younger than you. I met someone the other day, and I was like certain she was my age, certain. And she's like, I'm 30. I'm like, oh, me too? What? Okay, let's get into today's episode. Listener questions. Jordan, I can't get THC. I don't live in a recreational state. Incorrect. Via Hemp, baby. Via Hemp. They ship nationwide, 48 states, directly to your door. Don't need a medical card. Don't have to live in a recreational, legal state. And if you're wanting my personal, what's my favorite? The High Love strain, that's going to be for my people. Talk about mixing it up in the bedroom personally. It feels like it gives your vulva a heartbeat in a good way. Blood flow increased, check. More pleasurable experience, better orgasm, check. Try it out for yourself. Let me know. The feedback I hear from women especially is 12 out of 10. Also, I love their Dreams gummies. Always the perfect sleep. Forget melatonin. Take a Via Hemp Dreams gummy, okay? If you're not a THC girly or daddy pop, CBN, perfect for sleep. CBG, CBD, all the tings. Topicals, tinctures, vape, gummies. Pick a mood, any mood. Go to viahemp.com. Don't forget to use code HOUSEWIFE. Got to be 21 and up. Duh, everyone is here. And if you use code HOUSEWIFE, you will get a free gift if you're a first-time customer along with your order. Free shipping on purchases over $100. Go to viahemp, viahemp.com, and use code HOUSEWIFE when you check out, or click the link in the episode notes below. Did you hear there's a new Blue Chew product? What? Blue Chew Gold? What's Blue Chew Gold? Blue Chew Gold? Blue Chew's newest innovation is Blue Chew Gold, okay? It's combining 4-in-1. We've got 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep it rock hard and pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your body. So I think this is beyond ED. This is like pre-workout for the bedroom. And this Blue Chew Gold is like encompassing all the things, right? You used to associate your grandpa's little blue pill, which this is not, as something that just like got it up. Okay, it's his boner peel. This is so much more. This is covering all the bases here. So I highly recommend you check it out. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it up quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. And there is a special deal for my lovely listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code HOUSEWIFE. That is promo code HOUSEWIFE. Visit bluechew.com or click the link in the episode notes. Visit bluechew.com for more details and safety information. And I thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Okay, question number 1. So I, 37 male, have a very high sex drive, but my wife, 36 female, does but doesn't. Ooh, doesn't. I work out of town most of the year and generally home every other weekend. She is a teacher, and while I'm gone, she's pretty much a single mom to our 3 kids, 17 female, 6 female, and 4 male. She likes sex, and she very much enjoys our sessions, but she's not usually horny until her period starts to about 2 days after it ends. I have no issues fucking her while she is bloody, extra lube, if you know what I mean, but I struggle with getting off too quickly. I feel as if I'm not satisfying her even though she claims I am. 2-part question. How could I make her want sex during the off days while also lasting longer so I can feel confident she's satisfied? I do all the things. When I'm home, I appreciate her body, touch, kiss, help her clean, do laundry. I try everything to reduce her mom duties when I'm home. I don't understand why she's only interested in sex during like a 5-day window each month. And since I work out of town, I miss this window. What is your thoughts and advice? Love your podcast to death. Okay, I'm so glad you love it. Okay, I do have thoughts. You say you appreciate her body, touch, kiss, help clean, do laundry, reduce the duties. So these are ways that you're probably taking advice, good advice, but incomplete advice, I guess, of like help lighten her load so that she can get in the headspace to feel relaxed enough to have sex. There is that, but you know what, like, else there is? You know what, like, oh, there is? Connecting. It goes light years for me. I had a lot of good sex this last week, and I'm going to keep talking about it. And you know why? It was so easy for us because we were still doing our thing. And my husband's always a toucher. He's like, anytime I'm sitting by him, he's going to have his hands on me. He's the best at rubbing my feet, rubbing my shoulders, like come by. If I cook, he's always doing the dishes. And that's very normal for us. So that's not out of the ordinary. So sadly for Derek, that's not making me horny necessarily. You know what I'm saying? So if she's really used to the touch and that and helping lighten the load, like he's a good guy, he's going to do that. But sadly, it's like when things become routine and predictable, please don't stop being a good husband that helps out when you're around. But that's not arousing. So the effort needs to be put in of connecting in the way she's going to feel connected. Put the screens down. I had to take a really good look at myself this week when I felt like everything was coming to a head and we had to have a conversation. I'm sure my husband just sees me like this so much. You know what I mean? So much doing this, being a mom, and then it's like when it's time, I'm just a dead potato that has blue light poisoning. You know what I mean? I have to make a intent to cut back doom scrolling. If it was just work, I would be lying. Well, this is my job. It's me doom scrolling. It's me consuming. And even if I take pride in the fact that it's like stuff that I'm learning about. It's not mindless stuff. I mean, there have been times, but I don't really watch like mindless, but in a sense, it's like still mindless and brainwashing and so many new recipes. Makes me very hungry, actually. But us being on our screens, so that's something to look at. I gotta make a note so I have the best intro ever next week because it's good and I won't start it now. Next week. Best intro ever. You're like, are you sure? Are you sure? The reason she's wanting to have sex in that window, I would go to assume it's hormonal, like clearly. And so she's like feeling hornier. So it's like, you're her person. She's your person. So like, woohoo, having sex. So if you're going to want her to be horny, get aroused, you're going to have to start with a mental foreplay. It's going to be flirting, and it's not going to be the touching flirting, okay? It's going to be, you look really beautiful. I want you to do a little rewind. back to when you first started dating. I want you to go back to the time when you noticed that sex was more spontaneous and more passionate and more frequent. What were you doing together? I bet you were laughing. God, laughing. Laughing together is so important. I bet you were making out. Just making out. I bet you were swooping her away for a deep, passionate kiss. I bet you were being more present in the conversations that you had. I bet there was more eye contact. I bet you there were more whispering. I bet you there was more lingering side swipes. I'm just like making up stuff at this point and putting words together. But think about that time. Take her on a date. And that's not just like the same thing. Like, I don't know where you live, but can you do like meal and an activity after, like putt-putt or like paint and sip or something that like requires you to like engage and do an activity together and then like go get drinks? Or you know what's really fun? If like food is your jam, is get an appetizer somewhere, get the meal somewhere, get the dessert somewhere else, and just like make a night of it where you're like walking downtown to each location, hand in hand, dressed up, feeling good, okay? Like change the vibes. So that is what, you're like, wow, that was a lot. That is how you're gonna get your wife hornier on those days. And it doesn't have to look grandiose, like I said, but literally spice it up. Literally shake it up a little bit. Not literally, you can't literally shake it up. But you know what I'm saying. Do something different a little bit. Or go back to the basics of what worked. I want to validate you that the kids, I am sure, are cock blocks. You have 3 kids. Y'all are amazing. We know she likes sex. Perfect. Some men are so fucked. Some men are like, their wives are like, don't touch me, okay? So you're ahead of so many people listening, and they're angry and jealous of you listening. Now, you want to last longer? Why don't you go multiple rounds? Huh? I'm just kidding. But I am trying to challenge you. You know, maybe that pop star delay spray is for you. Maybe you want to release one in the chamber prior. If you feel like that affects your arousal, then don't. I don't suggest watching porn before. I say use your imagination, or just, is there such thing, guys? Don't laugh at me. But is there such thing? There is such thing, okay? But I'm trying to normalize it for you, of just physically rubbing your wiener until ejaculation without like going to Pornhub in your mind. No? Is that not a thing for y'all? Okay. Try it. You're like, no, Jordan, it won't work. I don't have a penis. So I don't know. Also, bring in some toys. Bring in a dildo. Use your mouth. Make the experience longer so that she is more satisfied. Prioritize. Make it a little challenge without telling her, because she's going to feel pressured. So don't tell her. Make it an you challenge that you're doing solo. We're so only doing one listener question, guys. I'm sorry. Where you are trying to get her off before you complete. So it doesn't have to be about penetration. Edge with her, okay? Put it in, bring it out, go down with your mouth, use a tool, use a double, like put a plug in her backside, eat her out, finger her, get creative, have a wild time, relax, be in the moment. Do this when you know you're not in a rush to go somewhere. You can 100% fully satisfy and bring her to climax if you know how to, and I think I have a feeling you do, because you said the sex is good. Just dedicate some more time, and it doesn't need to just be penetration. And even if you end up coming before she does and you want to go longer, you keep going long. Like, you can still continue to pleasure her. Maybe your dick isn't going to be the thing pleasuring her. Maybe it's out of commission for a secchi, but there are so many ways. Start slow again. Ramp up the arousal and communicate with her. the question you asked me, say you go about this and you just feel like, no, and then we fuck, she doesn't seem really like interested in getting off, or like I come and she's like, no, we're good, I had great, it was great. Call her out. Say, I feel like you're skirting the issue because it may be uncomfortable. I want the radical truth, even if it hurts my feelings. I want to know how you really feel. I want to know what I could do to be a better lover, and I want to know how we can connect outside of the bedroom, because I think that's a big part of it. And she'll go, damn, how'd you know about that? And then you'll tell her about me. And if y'all listen together, even better. Okay, if you want to write into the Horny Housewife Podcast, go to thehornyhousewifepodcast.com and click Ask Anonymously. If you're new around here, you're like, holy shit, she has Tourette's. Usually we do way more than one. Lots of times episodes, I do 4 or 5, okay? I'll skip topic in the hour and we'll just do them all every now and then. Some of y'all love them. Some of y'all are like, oh, I want more guests. Well, guess what? A new year's upon us, and guess who I'm in talks with to set a recording date? I don't want to jinx anything, but I've talked about them so much. It's like I've manifested it. Meet the Freemans. Who. So Meet the Freemans, their Instagram, go watch it. You're going to go, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. Marriage psychology. Come on in. Welcome. They have 1 million followers. They know what they're talking about, meaning when I say 1 million followers, they know what they're talking about. That doesn't give them their credentials. They have their credentials. But the 1 million followers just goes to show how much people are relating, and it's resonating and it's hitting. And you will go see for yourself. And I couldn't be more excited to talk to them. But first things first, today, get ready for our guest, Cassidy Bybee. I'm making a vow to I'm not going crazy with this every month, every episode a guest. Absolutely not. But definitely an amp up from last year, and no settling on these. I mean, I dare to say if I record and I hate it, that I'm not uploading it. And if it causes a little tiff, so be it. Because I really want to give you the best. 2026, we need to turn a page and level up. Buckle in. Cassidy Bybee is a Utah mom. She is a sex educator, if you will. And she's one hell of a girl boss. Get cozy. And welcome Cassidy to the Horny Housewife Podcast. Hello, Cassidy. Welcome to the Horny Housewife Podcast. I'm so excited to get to know you more and for my listeners to get to know you. So before we dive in, introduce yourself.
My name's Cassidy Bybee. I am from Utah. It seems to be the T lately. Born and raised Mormon, husband served a mission. Both of our families are still very active. I kind of fell into the sexual health and wellness world. I was in the MLM world, so it gets even juicier. So I was a part of a company called Pure Romance, worked for them for 18 years and decided to kind of get into the content world because it's just not talked about. It's taboo. People need help. I have thousands of clients that I would go and do events for. I have a van, like a sex van. We should have done this in the van. Anyways, it's just not full product. But I used to go and drive. It's almost like a food truck. So I would drive to people's homes and do presentations and sell products. And then I realized there's so many more people I can reach. I can only reach so many people with the sex fan, right? The bougie bougie. So I jumped into TikTok and Instagram, and I've had, am I okay to say like shit on here?
You can say fuck,
Okay.
you can
I
say
don't know.
cunt, you can say all of it.
So I've had the shit beat out of me in more ways than one. I mean, last weekend it happened again. Like people, we've got our fair share of haters, insecure humans, people that judge me. I get called every name in the book all the time, but I know what I'm doing is good work because I'm sure you see this too. The DMs, the thank yous, all that stuff. So I jumped into the content world about 4 years ago and it blew up. And then
Clearly. Yeah.
started running into some walls with the dynamic that I was connected to where they couldn't keep up with me, if that makes sense.
Okay,
So I would
wait,
have
break that down slightly. What do you mean? Like the growth of like
that.
people, because a lot of
So
sex toys like are people just wanting and you couldn't deliver because they were coming
yeah,
in?
so like perfect example, it's on my Instagram, it's pinned. There is a sex swing video. This is normal. I mean, it was like I don't know, last time I looked like 18 million views or
Yeah.
something. And company was out of stock.
That's girl, well, this is
So I
really good for
couldn't
you.
sell it. And it's like
It made me want
pulling
a
my
sex
hair
swing.
out. And it's like I'm literally like lighting money on fire. And so I kept hitting these walls, and I understand everyone has their own business dynamics, their own business tactics, and they weren't just taking care of me, but it's kind of like a dynamic. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, the things I weren't learned, the relationships I built, but it kind of I outgrew it, if that makes
Mhm,
sense.
mhm,
And
mhm.
so I had a moment in my sauna, in my full house, to
Where
say,
your best
what,
thinking is
what
done.
am I gonna do? And I was like, I can do this. Like this industry is very male dominated, and I get the shit beat out of me there too. It's very porn centric, it's very male dominated, and I'm not shaming on any of that. Everyone has a space and a time and a reason for something and their own way to explore their sexuality. But what was happening is I was getting put in this box of porn and over sexualized, but I also knew the connection of people I was making in my DMs and how I was helping
Mhm,
them because especially in the Mormon culture, they're not going to the sex shop. And if they do, they are feeling so uncomfortable. But they're
mhm,
coming to me, I'm able to educate them. So then I landed with I'm going to launch my own brand
mhm.
and I'm going to call it Covet, like the 10 commandments. Like thou shalt not covet, because what does covet mean? It's a yearn, it's a
Yeah.
desire for something, and we're taught that we're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, no, we are supposed to do that. And covet is pleasure unwritten. It is like your chapter to your story, and how are you going to write your pleasure story? So now I'm building this brand, and I'm still talking about other products because I'm building a brand, and it takes time, but just what I've learned from every bottle you look at in this industry, not to shame on other brands, everyone's done their own thing and done phenomenal, is it's very male driven in a way that they really don't care about females' vaginas. They don't care about like it's like let's just slap some tits and some ass on it and it
Mhm,
will
mhm.
sell. Like let's
Spit
just
on it. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly. And
Which
so
can be hot,
I've
but we want the lube too. Yeah.
yes. So I've literally I should pull oh, it's over there. I've literally been in a lab. Like I formulated lubricants. My silicone lubricant has 3 ingredients in it. It is 3 types of silicone. Like that is it. Like everything is like
Silicone lube is to me is like the best. Like that's what like
well,
lets skin feel skin totally.
yes.
And the male thing, that's interesting that like you said it and I had this written down as one of the questions is like what kind of kickback do you get? I mean, I can relate to you in the way of like the name of the podcast is The Horny Housewife. So like
Yes.
imagine when if people ask like I'll be like they're like what do you do? I'm like freelance marketing. Like sometimes I'm a shameful pussy. And I mean people judge, especially women, but I have found like through my experiences, it's been 5 years, the letters we get, like the people you help, the men you help, the relationships you have, things, people that don't even write in, you've helped beyond those people. And it started with like 80% of my listeners were men, but slowly, like when you find your women, like your tribe of women, aren't they the greatest?
The
Because
greatest.
they see you and you see them, or they see something and instead of being like a hater bitch, they're like, wow, I want something she has. I want the freedom she has, like the balls that she has, because it does take balls to be able to be like, hey, we're worthy of pleasure too. I mean, a clit is put on our body solely for pleasure because that's not what's making babies. Like, what else is that for? It's to get us off.
And it just has led into this ever evolving dynamic, which we can get more into that. I'm sure you have like a structure of questions to
Oh,
ask, but
we can do
I'm
it however.
also normal. I
Yeah,
also have a
you're a
daughter.
mom.
And people are like, that's the thing that I think upsets me the most is I have people that help me weave through my comments, which you probably understand this because people are ugly on the internet. People are keyboard trolls. People will say things to you on the internet and they would never say it to your face. And
Mhm,
I've just learned to be able to do what I'm doing at the scale that I'm doing it. I have to have boundaries in a healthy way. So I'm very involved in my community, but I'm also very protective of my mental health. So
mhm.
like I have a team that helps me that filters through things. The nasty, the ugly, they're the ones that are interjecting and handling those comments so it doesn't get to me. Because I don't care if you are freaking superwoman. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I watched the podcast of Whitney Levitt and her partner from Dancing with the Stars, and like they talked about this, like how ugly the internet is. And it's like, I, my biggest thing that hurts me the most is when
Mhm.
people say things like, oh my gosh, your daughter's going to be so embarrassed of you.
I
Like,
can
she's going to
relate to
see
you.
this one day. And I'm like, actually, my daughter is going to come to me.
And she's gonna
Because
see a confident woman.
yes, and
Yeah.
she's gonna know her body. She's gonna know the parts of her body, because another fun fact about me, like I said, I'm very vulnerable and open. Like,
I love it.
I was sexually abused as a child. And look at me, I'm gonna cry. I'm getting emotional. Sorry.
Cry.
I When you go through something like that and you learn in the court of law, these children need to be protected. And the only way you can protect them is to educate them about their own
Mhm,
bodies. It
mhm.
makes or breaks court cases. If you're teaching your daughter that her clitoris is something else or her vagina is her Pikachu, Pikachu's not going to hold up in court.
Yeah.
So, like, my daughter, when she was, like, 2.5, she, like, found her clitoris. And
Mm.
I'll be honest, it kinda freaked me out. I'm the sex lady, but I was like, "We're, like,
This
having a
is new.
party. It's normal, right?" And so I, like,
Mm.
call my mother, and I'm like, "Mom, like, what do I do? Like, how do I," and she's like, I remember when what happened to you, your dad was really freaked out. When you figure out your body, it's
Mhm.
your body, and she needs to be okay with it. Because even my husband's like, "Well, let's just teach her it's okay if grandma touches her there or babysitter or what," and he doesn't know. We're ignorant. These are
Eh,
only kids.
we're all doing the best we can
And
and
that isn't the answer, because my dynamic was an extended family member, and so the
exactly.
answer
I'm like,
is
if you don't wanna be touched, you don't have to be touched. You don't have to hug them if you don't wanna hug them.
exactly,
That's
and
all.
that's what my mom taught me was, like, you hand her the soap and you say, "Okay, Joby, you know your body, this is your body, you need to wash your vagina, you,"
Mhm.
and then I
I agree.
teach my daughter, "Yes, that is your clitoris, and yes, it feels good, and if you want to touch your clit," and she's 6, almost 6 years old. This is
Mhm.
a healthy conversation, world. Like, I'm here to tell you, you then say, if you want to touch yourself, make sure to do it in private, do it in your room. We're not shaming someone for that, because that is what the culture I was raised in was.
Yes.
Pleasure is shameful. And
Yes.
I am raising a daughter. You can tell me all day that I'm gonna embarrass the shit out of her on the internet.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
gonna have a daughter that is confident in her body. She knows
Yes.
her body. She's not ashamed of her body. She knows the boundaries of her body, and it's hers. And that is something that I am very strong with when people come to me on the internet, "Your daughter's gonna be ashamed." I'm
It
like,
hurts too.
"She's
Mm.
gonna be educated."
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, remember, did you ever see Meet the Fockers?
A long time
Me
ago.
okay, well, Meet the Parents, like, his mom was this sex educator, and it was a movie a long time ago, but it was, like, painted in such a sweet, like, light of, like, they were so open, and I'm like, when people come for me in that angle, like, man, you might like, your sons are gonna be ashamed that you the horny housewife, and I can't even imagine because you have a large following, I can't even imagine, I don't know what you're experiencing, but I know that it's like a dagger with me, but then I had to sift through my own insecurities that's literally just this ego
Mhm.
external comment where I'm like, I feel like misunderstood. I feel misunderstood, and that triggers shame and all these things from my childhood. And I grew up very religious. My in-laws are Mormon. I know before we started doing this on the record, you said that you grew up LDS.
Mhm.
And so, like you just said, there's this layer of shame of like it was a sin. I was doing something wrong. Like I'm not supposed to do that. So now I feel bad when it's a total normal feeling. I mean, little boys are usually the ones that find it first because their penis is sticking out,
Yes.
like they touch
Yes.
it all the time. My kid will be like, Mom, my penis is so big right now. And I'm like, it's blood flow. Like if I rub my arm and it gets really red, like see that's like the blood flow to your penis. And if he's like over there humping a pillow, I'm like, hey, you need to go to your room. That's a
Yes.
private moment because there's no way. I mean, I remember the looks like parents would like look or they look at each other and you're like, you feel like something's wrong with you. And I think it's wonderful what we're doing as mothers by educating them because knowledge is empowering for sure.
And
Mhm.
ignorance also shows up uncomfortably for a lot of people. So I think that's what the problem here is in the Utah culture is there's a lot of
Mm,
ignorance. And
mm.
that's what I lean on is it's okay that you're ignorant on something. Let me hopefully educate you and help you.
Yeah.
Right? Like let me teach you what I've researched, what I've learned. And I don't know everything. Like things come out all the time and I'm like, whoa, I didn't even know there was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
but,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
some of
yeah.
the, like, working in manufacturing and, like, creating products or whatever, I'm like, there is a whole world
Whoa.
of, like, fantasy dildos. Like, have you ever seen, like, the creature cock things? Like, I
I
was, like,
I
went
have
down this,
I
like,
have,
black
and
hole, and I was like, people literally are into dragon dicks. Like,
they're
okay. Like,
fairy
I know we
dicks,
just
like
went
some
from,
re
like, kids to that, but, like, this
yeah.
world is so empowering. It really is. If you accept it in your own world and sexual
Mhm.
identity, like, it's okay that somebody's into a dragon dick, and it's
And you're
also
yeah.
okay that somebody's just okay with a bullet vibrator.
Mhm.
But who are we to judge somebody? That's not our
100%.
job. Our job is to educate and hopefully help people. And if you're ignorant and insecure about your own sexuality, coming at someone who is brave enough
Mhm.
to talk about it is just wild to
Sounds
me.
like a personal problem, right? Like, don't go bleed on us. We didn't cut you. You know what I mean? So, how did you go from growing up LDS? Like, did you always know that this was a niche? Was this something that evolved from the trauma you just shared about? Like, how did you get into like, I want to help people have better sex?
So I hate admitting this, but I'm gonna admit it, and then I found a
Okay.
passion. So I was great in high school, great grades, went to college. I'm like, I'm doing this thing. I want to be a
Mhm.
dental hygienist. So I worked in the dental field for 9 years. And I was like, I'm gonna be a dental hygienist. And I went to college and I failed biomedical core 4 times. And I'm a smart person. And I was like, I would know this. I would go, well, I was later then diagnosed with ADD. That's why I couldn't pass the exam.
Fellow, I dropped out. Yeah.
So I attended a sex party. My ex-husband's family, his cousin had a party and I attended and I was like, I'm a broke newlywed. I got married very young the first time. I was 20 years old. My
Yeah,
brain
baby.
wasn't even fully
A
developed. Like we
child bride.
preteeny. High school sweetheart. He's a great man. He's a great father now, a great husband. No hard feelings there. We just were really young.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I went to this party and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I could totally do this." And I remember I went home to that husband and I was like, "I think I wanna do this." And he's like, "Oh, no," because he's from a small town in Utah. And he's like, "No, no, no, my wife is not selling sex toys." And so then I continued on with college and
When you
then
said sex party, I thought you meant like everyone was fucking in the room.
oh,
'Cause
no,
they have
I'm talking
those.
about what I used to do where I'd
Okay,
stand
yeah,
up
yeah,
and be
yeah.
like,
I was
"This
like,
is
you
your
went and you're like,
dildo."
"I
Like,
am the
yes.
center of this orgy." Okay, I didn't know which one
No,
you were
we are
talking.
not talking Utah swinger life. That had
Okay,
not developed yet.
okay, which I'm
Not
so
my
intrigued
realm, not
by.
judging anyone, but that
Yeah,
was definitely not it.
okay.
But, yeah, so then this girl reached out to me again. I mean, she's a smart businesswoman, and she was like, "I think you'd be really good at this." And, you're an insecure 20-year-old and somebody believes in you, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this." So I was a broke college student, and I made the best and worst decision of my life, and that was I went to the bank, and I got a credit card, and I bought this little MLM starter kit, and it came home when my husband was home and I was not, and I didn't tell him about it. Marriage 101, big mistake. And he was like, "Make my money back." So I did my first party and I just was a natural. Like I
I can
booked
tell.
I booked 6 events and I just started making money and initially it was money. I'll be honest. It was like an MLM structure. I was like, I want to make money, but then I developed a passion because I have clients that have been my clients for 20 years.
That's
Like, I
amazing.
have clients that still are like, "Oh, hey, girl," like, still supporting me. Like, I can't wait till the brand launches. Like, I'm gonna be sending invites to people, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, she remembers me. Yeah, you changed my life. You let me into your home. You let me, connect with your closest people." So that just kind of developed into this business, which I thought back then was this thriving business, but now I really fully understand business ownership and
Mhm.
creating something that's your own and what that actually looks like. No shame on where I started, but initially it was not the sexual health education side, but then I gained that.
Yeah, it was like sales that turned into passion. But like those 2 things, like, I mean, sales is a part of everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And I just was naturally
You're good
really
at it.
good at it.
Mhm.
And so I realized my dental hygienist dream is not going to happen. Like it's a very competitive industry in Utah. A lot of the LDS moms love that job because they can still be a mom, they can work a couple days a week, they make really good money, and that's just kind of like the image of a world, which when I say my brain was very underdeveloped when I got married so young is I think we realize that is like we grow and evolve. That age from like 23 to 27, I
Wow.
swear I became like 7 different people. Like really. So I tell
Girl.
people all the time in Utah, I'm like I got married for the second time, I think it was 27 or 28, and I was like, that was the perfect time because
Yeah.
I feel like I, went through the
Frontal lobe developed.
Yes. Yes, and no shame because, I mean, my mom was married at 18, she had her first kid at
Mm.
20, and then she had boom, 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 3, and then a 4th, and my parents were still in love and married and happy and great, but, like, it yeah, so
It's
I
not
just
for everybody, you know? Like, I'm like you, I can't imagine doing that, but to each their own. I see lots of people marry their high school sweethearts, still married today and doing great, and then other times I get letters, like, listener questions is a big part of this show,
Yeah.
of people that, like I had one last week where they both lost their virginity to each other, but
Huh?
and so they've never gotten an opportunity to really understand their bodies. She's like, my wife doesn't have the patience for her own arousal, and she's grossed out by the idea of me eating her out. And I mean, there's like when you get a question like that, obviously 800 more questions pop into my head because there's so many factors. I mean, I don't know, maybe she doesn't like you. Maybe she doesn't understand her body. Maybe she's not in tune with what she knows she likes or what she doesn't. Maybe it's shame. Maybe it's all of those things. Did you
It's
have to go through an undoing, or do you feel like you were always felt empowered in your own skin?
oh, no, I mean, it's so funny because 'cause you're like, "If you're uncomfortable with something, just let me know," and I was like, "I'm an open book." Like, sometimes I swear I'm, like, overly open. And I should tell you this too, which I would
No,
love to have
tell
you
me. I
on.
love it.
Part of my brand dynamics we'll get to is I'm actually launching a podcast
I know
soon.
you said that. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
and it's gonna be called The Law of Cassidy, and if you know, you know. So,
Okay, don't.
let's
So
just say
tell
that
me I
who knew?
don't.
So, anyways, but, like, I've gone through
The law of attraction, is that what you're talking about?
no,
It's
it
like
links
your
it's
odd
linked
demographical
to
now?
it's not this though, like, I don't want people to, like, take offense by it, but, like, Mormon upbringing, they have a law of
Okay.
chastity.
Okay, see, I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
it's law of Cassidy, but it's not leaning that way, it just makes sense,
I
like, it
love that. I
has
love the name of your what did you say? Covet? What did you
covet
I
covet.
love that. Like,
Yeah,
wow. I love it.
yeah. So I have actually gone through probably one of the hardest years of my entire life. Everything I've been through, we could be on this podcast for 4 days for me to explain been through. Like I just like solidified a legal dynamic yesterday. I won in court. It was amazing. But like
Wow,
there's like
yay.
they're always coming at me. And the hardest hit that got hit was my marriage.
Wait, what is they are always coming for you? You mean like Murphy's Law, like it's all rain pour
No,
or
like, I just deal with men in this industry that think they can take advantage of me, men in this industry that try and cock block a manufacturing dynamic, or men in this industry who utilize me for their brand and then don't compensate me when there's a contract, like, there's so many things I've been through in the last 12 months, it's wild,
Mm.
it's like, "Where's the reality TV camera?" Because I have a really good show,
Yeah,
like, it's
I'm like,
crazy.
that is you
Yeah.
should write a book one day.
That my manufacturing person here in Utah, he's became a really good friend. His name's Jaden, and he says that to me weekly when we talk and catch up. And he's just like, "Are you writing this down? Because you're going to sell this to Netflix one day. Because it really is
Just
wild."
get the phone recorder. I just memo everything because, like,
Yes,
yeah, I memo yeah, I would love to do that one day.
but
I need an ending to my book. But your marriage, you said your marriage took the biggest
yes,
hit.
and it's
I
us going
love
to
this
therapy, and
transparency.
the hardest part in our marriage is with this is also part of the brand identity, is I all of a sudden went from, "Okay, I'm running a business," but you're not really running a business when you're connected to like, you're, like, almost like a consultant of a brand, like
Mhm,
because you don't have to deal with logistics, you don't have to deal with warehousing, you have to
mhm.
deal with manufacturing, like, it's a whole new
Ball
investment,
game. Yeah.
bubble, game, and so with these choices I made, which I know are the best, came a lot of stress because our business dynamic, which I keep hiding it and I shouldn't, but my husband has his own business. He has a supplement company. And so like he's not making money right now. And so my family's livelihood is me and my content.
Whoa.
Like he's not, and that's okay. I agreed to that. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I want you to launch, I've built us something that I want you to do your thing. So there's that stress too. And with that came my libido started to struggle. And with that
Mhm.
came our heads started to butt. And with that came, "You're not attracted to me." And then there's like, and he's okay if I say this, like any male growing something in the Utah culture that's not feeling like they're providing, even though he's providing in different
It's
ways,
emasculating to himself.
it is. And so us having to figure that out, like I will forever give praises to my therapist, Trisha. Like if you do not have a therapist, like
I have one.
therapy, I feel like it should be part of high school curriculum. I really think we would live
I
in a
love
better
you.
world if people really, and that goes back to the girl in her body and understanding her body and understanding her shame and understanding her triggers. And these are things that we develop from ages 3 to 5. And look what happened to me from age 3 to 5.
I just
Well,
want to
yeah.
tell you how much I appreciate you sharing that, because I'm sure you can relate to imposter syndrome. Like, do you ever feel like I get people that are telling me how much I help their marriage, and then I'll turn in and I'm like, why can't I do this in my own marriage? Why can I give someone this perspective and this insight and this great advice, and why can't I create this dynamic when I'm going through this struggle? And it makes me feel fraudulent sometimes. It makes me feel like a failure, or it makes me think really horrible thoughts, like I'm doing
Yeah.
the wrong thing, I'm not seen, I'm not loved. And when you just sharing that, like, burst this bubble of, like, when I look at you, like, I look at your page and I look at it, I think the thoughts that people think on social media. Oh, wow, she must have the perfect marriage.
No.
They must have sex 5 times a week and have the bestest of the bestest. And I get scared to admit, like, when my libido tanks, because it's like, wait, that's not the horny housewife. You're the one with the really high drive. What are you talking about? But we're all fucking human beings, And I
And
think talking about it is what brings us all together.
and it's I let go of that a long time ago because I think that's something in social media that actually pisses me off, especially in the Utah culture, because the influencer dynamic in Utah is like next level psycho.
Hurt
But
me.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people look at these influencers like their life is perfect. And so that's why I've always led in this way. And that's also something that's pushed me to start the podcast, because I was like, I think people need to understand that just because I have a massive following or just because I've built something amazing does not mean that
You're free from
you're
life.
freaking hanging from the sex swing 24 hours a day. Like,
It's not real.
there is vulnerability and strength and power. And like, I love my husband. I will always love my husband. And something I love about him, sorry, I'm crying again, is
No.
his willingness to work. A lot of men would never go to a therapist by themselves and work through their shit and then go to a therapist with their spouse and work
Mhm.
through their shit.
Mm.
And people are different. And people are triggered differently. They communicate differently. And that is the best skills I have gotten from therapy, is
100%.
learning, okay, this is what Josh needs. And even if I want to say it this way, if I say it this way to him, it literally severs his soul. But if
Mhm.
I go around and say it this way to this way to this way, I feel like I'm running an entire mile just to get my point across. With his dynamic, that is how I need to serve him in the best way. And how can I show up differently? I'm exhausted. I'm stressed. I want to have sex with my husband. I'm attracted to my husband, but I just want to go to sleep. Okay, if you wanna have sex with your husband, maybe you slide him a sexy little text at 11 AM and you guys pull off a quickie real quick because 'cause
Yeah.
you're both home, or maybe you say to your husband when you get comfortable and you're sitting on the couch and you wanna watch your reality TV and you're just sitting there, instead of watching our show, "Hey, let's go bang it out, and
Mhm.
then you can watch
Mhm.
our show." Because if we watch our show, then we're exhausted.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
what do I need? I don't like feeling like you just wanna bang me all the time.
Yes.
I like feeling like, "Hey, babe, I stopped by Starbucks and I grabbed you a coffee." Or, "Hey, babe, I'm really proud of you today." Or, "Hey, babe,
Mhm.
I ordered you a I love," and he laughs at me because he's like, "You have an entire closet." But I love the idea, and I think maybe my girlfriend said it perfectly. I think maybe it's because I run the household and I make all the decisions and I carry the financial weight. I love when he orders, like, a spicy little outfit online
Yeah.
and shows up with it and hands it to me.
It's
I
magic.
didn't make the decision, and it's a
Mhm.
dumb thing as an outfit, but that helps me feel wanted, desired, and
Yeah.
it helps me make that shift.
I just talked about in this upcoming week's episode about, like, decisiveness and how men. I saw Meet the Freemans. I really love their account. Talk about how, like, example, a woman comes up and is like, "Oh, I really like these pots and pans. I'm gonna order them. What color do you like? I don't care, babe. You pick.
Honestly.
Where are we gonna go for date night? I don't care, babe. You pick." And in a man's mind, they can think, What's the big deal? I'm letting her win. Like, doesn't she just like let her pick? Then she's getting her way. It's all good. But like the reality is whether you're not carrying the entire mental load, or especially if you're carrying a large mental load, this passiveness is not attractive. It's not sexy, and it really isn't that hard for you to just pick one. Now, if she's asking about her outfit, maybe it could get a little messy because sometimes I get emotional. And I'm like, which one do you like? And then he'll pick one, and I'm like, how the fuck could you pick that one? You know what I mean? But like, that's my problem. But it's very unattractive, in my opinion, if they just can't. And these are little things of like how men think versus how women think. And I love hearing this because I think sometimes what gets me through the tough seasons is knowing my spouse's willingness, like you just said, because you can get through anything, because we're going to go through seasons, whether if we were single, whether we decided to separate from our husbands and go start a new life, there's hard anywhere. And if
Yes.
we can see like the long game of like what we want, which I want my family, I love my husband, we've built this beautiful life together, and it's inevitable that you're going to go through seasons of transitions and seasons of building like you are. And I personally believe, whether you believe in God or the universe, or however you view it, I believe you reap what you sow, and
Yes.
all these little seeds we're planting will come to fruition at some point, and we'll be so glad that we continue to show up.
Totally. And there's actually an Instagram account. I can't think of it. It's a male led account. And he talks about emotional mental load because I got to find it to you and send it to you. Most men,
Is his name Jimmy?
I don't even know. I'd have to
Does he
look.
play the woman and the man? No? Okay.
Maybe. But I was like, where has this account been my entire life? I'm like sending this to my husband
Yeah.
because men don't realize they're like, okay, yeah, let's just plan dinner. Okay, no, plan dinner is okay. That means I need to go buy a pound of bacon. I need to peel the potatoes. Like they don't think the process of that. So then sometimes some men, especially in the Utah culture, are like, hey, are you gonna make dinner or why isn't the laundry done? And it's like, especially when you're in my dynamic where it's like, there's a lot of moving pieces. So we understand now, like, to me, it's like, okay, I have help for that. I hire help for that. I have a full-time nanny. Yes, my daughter's in school all day, but the nanny's helping. She's a house assistant.
She helps with everything,
Yes.
correct.
And
Yeah.
like understanding that dynamic and like, it's been so good for us because I know what he needs. He knows what I need. And it's always a work in progress. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
always evolving. You're never going to be perfect, but I think that's why I'm so excited to be on this, to share this and to start my own because I do think
You're gonna
the
be so
world,
good at it.
thank you.
You
I do
are.
think the world thinks that I am some, yes, that's a sex bench right there. I
I know, I've seen the
yeah, but
videos. I
but
watched
they
them
just
all.
said that to me and I set it up. And a funny story, my daughter's like, "Can I have a sleepover on the new bench?" I'm like, "Probably not." But like
Probably not.
literally, like, you guys, it's ever evolving. Do I have a drawer of shit that I've never touched? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Do
because
I
you get
get like
sent massive amounts of
is
shit.
there some times where I just kind of want to do like the side swipe sex and like get a
Mm.
little titty grab and just get a toy and just kind of be lazy? Yeah. Are there some times that I'm like, hey, we should set up a ring light and make a
Yeah.
video?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but it's not like that all the time.
Mhm.
And that's something that I'm trying to present with my new brand is
Mhm.
its ever evolving story and this ever evolving another book, another chapter, which led into something else that helped with my libido is my therapist suggested reading. And I was like, I don't read. I have ADD. And it's funny because about 2 years prior, I did a party. Sorry, I had ADD. I just
I'm ADHD as fuck, like,
okay.
I'm jiving with you, I love it.
Okay. So I did a party in a town called Bicknell, Utah, which
Okay.
you're like, where the fuck is that? You're gonna look it up and you're gonna be like, it is. And I used to do this all the time for my clients. I would drive 3 to 4 hours. Like, it was
Wow.
worth it to me because this small town needs me,
Yeah,
So I drove
they need me.
and these girls are it was like a private shopping. So I do a presentation and then they would come out one by one to my van. It was heated, like the store was there to get their stuff and leave. And so
Okay.
I leave everything and I go back in the house and they're all just like giggling and laughing and oh my gosh, what about this? And I was like, what are you guys talking about? And they're like, oh, it's a book that changed our sex life. And I was like, "Oh, what's the book?" And so
Mhm.
they're like, "It's called Pucking Around." And I was like, "Okay." And so I'm like, they're like, "Download it, listen to it on Audible as you're
Yeah, yeah,
driving home." Okay, mind you, this house is Mormon. Like, we got the first presidency on the wall, we got a temple on the wall, and these girls are like, just get pucking around on eyeballs. And so I'm like in my van, and I start this, and I'm like, holy shit, what are we listening to? This girl getting screwed in
Railed.
both holes by
Yeah.
two dudes. Like, what is happening? So
It's Mormon 2.0.
dude, I listened to it that drive, and then I never touched it again because I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
then fast forward to 2 years later, therapist is like, can you try and read? I'm like, I don't freaking read. We have a family trip this last March to Hawaii, and
Gotta-
World War III in my marriage right now. Like, we are butting heads. We haven't figured it out. We're fighting about sex. Do you love me anymore? Like, I'm just being real. So I'm like, okay,
I've been there. I've been
yeah.
there.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a book. So I go to Target, you get your over amount of stupid travel shit that you don't need, but you spend $300
Yes. Yeah.
travel shit at
Yeah.
Target.
Yeah.
I go, I'm in the book section. I pull TikTok open. I'm like, book talk. 3 books get recommended. Boop, 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 boop. Grab it, throw it in the cart. And then I find myself in Hawaii by the pool,
Good.
all the toddlers playing splash pad, and I'm reading, and I guess 2 hours goes by. And my sister-in-law comes up to me and she's like, are you on some like healing journey? And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you have literally not touched your phone, which my whole life is my phone. Like, I had multiple content pages I'm growing because I talk about adult content and they'll just like shut it down. Happened to me this last weekend. Like, I'm always growing more, whatever. She's like, you haven't touched your phone in 2 hours and you're nose deep in a book. And I said, my therapist suggested
I'm
reading. I was
confused.
like, Chelsea, I am so stressed. I was like, my hair's falling out. I'm trying to avoid hair loss at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I think it's great. And then I found myself in this book, and it was a spicy book. The first one I've read, all of a sudden, you're getting that like feeling, when you're 16, like Gene rubbing on a couch, making out with somebody. You remember that feeling you used to get? Like the,
Of
and I'm like
course.
reading, and it's like happening. And then next thing I know, I'm like waking Josh up at like 11, and he's like, your dad Bob is next door. I'm like, I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
just grounded. Like, listen. And then it hit me, and I was like, oh my God. My brain finally shut off for the first
Yes.
time in
Yes.
16 years.
Yes.
And I'm positioning myself in a story, even though it's not me. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm like, oh my God, this is why these Mormon wives do this. They're moms. They have the stress of the shamefulness of church. They're
They're
like,
not able to shut down.
they're able to open a book. So then that's what led into the branding of Covet. Is
So
there is a break. I don't want to spill too much.
okay, yeah,
But
no. Whatever
every product is a chapter, a story.
is intentional.
It's a world that
Cool.
someone's going to connect with. If you're a housewife, this is your world. If you're, a
Ready?
soccer mom,
Ready.
this is your world. Like, and everything down to product descriptions, they're going to
So
read
cool.
in a way that you've never seen a product description before.
I
And
love
it just made me realize, and it just hones back to the first thing I said, like, we all have our own world of sexuality and feeling confident in who we are and things we want to try and experiment and things
Mhm.
we want to do. And Covet, the world of Covet is that. It is the place that you come to, and it's sexy, but it's not just tits, ass, fuck, butt plug.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
telling you story, it's relating, it's something you want to, what's happening next? It's a cult world intertwined. I mean, my 5-year goal is that an author comes to me and wants to write the Book of Covet. So
That's
out there.
so cool.
Yeah, but yeah, that's another thing that really helped my libido is reading these books. And I went from hadn't read a book since high school. I've read 40 books this year.
I think probably because, like you said, there's so much going on that you're like strategizing in the logistics and this, that it's like something that gets you in your body. You know what I mean? Like gets you present into something that it's almost like a form of guided meditation, if you will.
And that's why people are like, just listen to Audible. I'm like, it can't be Audible though.
No,
Because if
it's
I'm doing
different.
Audible, I'm hanging decorations on a Christmas tree, or I'm
Mhm.
doing dishes, or I'm writing an email, and I'm not in the moment. When I'm reading it on the page, like I sit in my sauna, I should show you, I don't have them in here, but I have books that look like they've been like dipped in an ounce of water. Like, because I sit in my sauna, and so like the bindings break, like, but it's like something I've found for myself that's made me just
Is
slow
it all
down.
erotica?
Yeah.
Yeah. On my Patreon, I read audio erotica, and like people will use that for foreplay. Like people will be like, my wife will put the headphones on while I massage her and listen to the dirty story. Yeah,
So
it's
good.
kind of fun. Okay, I wanted to ask you, I wanted to know if there were 5 products, which I know you have a whole line coming out. So I'm like, is this a weird question? If you had to
No,
pick
so
5 products, what would you take with you no matter what? Like if you're grabbing things, what's first on your mind and why?
okay, first and foremost is a lubricant. So there's many that I love. I'm gonna just throw it out there that my water base is also amazing. It's got hyaluronic acid in it, which you know the benefits of having hyaluronic acid on your face, the
Mhm.
same benefits hyaluronic acid on your vagina. Per se, I like water based because you're always safe with your bedroom accessories.
Mhm.
Um, I don't just want to like pitch covet products though, because they're not out yet. So I'm like,
Mhm. Mhm.
I've really liked, as crazy as it sounds, they like reached out to me and I was like, I don't know if I could blew up the beaver butter arousal serum. The reason I like it is it's
Okay.
very clean. And the nice thing about it is they've really honed in on a new formula where a lot of arousal serums overstimulate. Like they either like my vagina's on fire or they underdo it and it's like
Mhm.
just a quick second. This one lingers in
Okay.
way that when I was testing the new formula, I like put it on before I walked on the treadmill and I was like finished with my workout and this shit was still lingering. And I'm like, this is
Okay.
good.
Hell yeah.
So Beaver Butter's arousal serum is really good. It's really clean too, which that's something that's important to me.
Mhm.
I suggested they remove the glycerin, which they did, which is
That's
really
so
good. Yeah.
cool that they took
Like
that into consideration.
every male in this space puts glycerin in fucking everything, and glycerin is fucking like terrible. Like, why are we putting it in shit? Sorry, it's my
No,
soap.
but like, no, I completely agree with you. Something else I'm passionate about, and I love that they responded in a way of like, wow, you're like telling them this is what's best, and they're like, oh, she's right.
They're in the motion of
They
reformulating, and
should pay you for
sent
that.
me some stuff. They sent me some stuff. There's some things in the works.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
sent me some stuff to try, and I looked at the ingredient list, and I was like, "Can you get rid of this?"
Mhm.
And they're like, "We'll look into it," and then ended up doing it, which is
That's awesome.
no beaver butter. Anyways, it's so funny because the name, I'm like, but it's like
Beaver
I
butter.
literally they worked with me and they're like, "Just try talking about it." I put it on my TikTok shop and they're like, "We manufacture it, so we'll be able to keep up with you." 2 days later, he called me. He's like, "Shit." He's like, "It's gone. Like, it's gone." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like,
That's
I mean,
amazing,
butter
though.
is like,
Yeah.
the freaking Aria bench by Liberator. Have you seen my videos?
Yeah, I've seen your videos. Yeah.
That thing is fucking badass, okay? Because
Okay.
first and
Okay, I need
foremost,
to
I've
get one.
always wanted a sex chair, but nobody wants just, like, a sex chair in their house. Like, what are you gonna do with it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
there's
Well,
a dust
you need a
plant on it.
place for
This
it.
thing, like, converts, it zits, and I like that it's not heavy because a lot of them are like, "Ugh," you know?
Yes.
And you can toss this thing around because I'll be honest, especially as I'm getting and I'm not old, I'm not 40 yet, but we're getting close,
I'm
and, like,
36.
some positions and a pillow but that thing, and then it folds up and it just looks like
Perfect.
a nice bench. I'll
It's
be
right
honest.
behind you, right?
No, that is one of their benches.
Okay,
The
okay, okay.
actual one that I love is in my room because I
Okay.
love it. So, I mean, I know we're going to deserted island or something, but I'm taking that fucking
No,
bench.
yeah, no, this is just like what you think people should look into that what they want.
And I know people are gonna be like, "It's $750." I'm like, "You're damn right. How much are you paying for a bench at a furniture store?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this one will help you make every
yeah.
position comfortable. Like, and then it looks like a bench. And they have like different color covers. Liberator home run. Like,
Yeah, and
and
Liberator,
it's good
they're
quality.
tried and true. They've been around.
And you can take it off and wash it. That
Perfect.
matters.
Yeah, no, that
That
matters.
matters.
Because then it's gross
That
if you
matters.
can't. Yeah.
I'm gonna pitch a covet product, so you
Okay.
guys just get excited. I've named it Taken Twice. It is a dual action toy.
Oh, okay, okay.
And one of the biggest complaints I get when it comes to G spots when I was working with women at events or just through the DMs is a lot of them are, oh, it's not real. She can achieve it, whatever. We're all the same, but we're also very different. Some
Mhm,
of us have
mhm.
tilted uteruses. Some
Yep.
of us have, smaller, longer. Like it's all a little different.
Mhm.
Taken Twice is built in a way that I want you to understand. Like, have you heard of like liquid silicone accessories?
I have
They
not.
literally are like a hot dog. Like they're like
Okay,
flexible. Okay. So I
okay.
mean dual action. So you have clitoral stimulator and then you have inside, but the inside part has a stimulator that
Mm.
is free, not just it's a free floater. So when you're pushing it in and pulling it out, that stimulator catches on the G spot. Here's a crazy story about this. So as I'm getting samples in, I'm like pimping sex toys out to my friends
Yeah.
because I'm not going to just be like, oh, it's pretty. Because if you know toys, like there's like a functionality to it. Like, is it
Mm-hmm.
comfortable in your hand? Is it making your hand numb? Is it powerful enough? Or is it a light buzz? Is it a hard buzz? Does it have to, like, there's a difference
100%.
in all of that. So I pimped this out to friends, and my friends were like, oh my God, this thing's amazing. And I was dumb and didn't try it myself. And then I
Okay.
got like the Pantone sample back, and Josh was hunting. He's a hunter. And I was like looking at it. I think it was screaming at me. It was like, and so I was like, okay, I literally
It's your go-to.
never, and I've used a lot of toys. I have never used a dual action toy. And the reason it's so good is a lot of dual action toys, a lot of women would complain like that it's too abrasive, it's too big, or it's
Mm-hmm.
too firm, it hurts, or it doesn't fit. This like curves into how you're built. And then
Love it.
the when you pull it in and out and it hits that G spot, it's like,
Well, you better let me know when those drop.
so just, I mean, we're shooting for February. It might be March, but I will know here in the next couple weeks. But get
Okay.
ready for Taken Twice because it is a game changer.
That's thrilling. I want to try that stuff on your page where you said it like makes you have more saliva and like
Oh
numbs you in
yeah,
your
yeah.
mouth.
So there's certain ingredients that can increase saliva or actually like put almost like a coating in your throat. And they don't numb. I hate shit that numbs.
Right? And then
Like
transfers. Like I hate numbing and
uh,
then transferring the numb. I
Well,
don't
just like
like.
the whole, and that's just what's wrong with this industry is it's very male dominant and it's
Mm.
just very what sells, what's over sexualized, what's over pornographic that we can sell.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
when it comes to anal stuff, I'm like, why are we numbing the freaking back door
Mhm.
area? Are you done
Yeah.
with it? Like, why are we getting rid of those nerve endings? But it's lack of education, and people just think, well, it's uncomfortable. Well, it's uncomfortable because you're not using the right things, and then you're
Mhm.
numbing it, and then it's pointless.
Or yeah, I feel like with anal, like this is I know everyone can have has their own opinion or their favorite position, but when you see porn, like that is not the best teacher in my opinion. I think anal is the best missionary and or on top because I feel
Yes.
more in control and the asshole is not self-lubricating. So the
No,
spit just isn't going to cut it,
it's not
guys.
it. No, you
Mhm.
need silicone lube back
You
door.
need silicone lube on your butthole.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you back do, and
Okay, do you have 2 more products or am I
oh, yeah,
wrong?
sorry,
Okay.
I detoured, some sort of a G-spot cream, so there's 2 on my website that I
What?
love.
What's a
Um,
G-spot cream?
are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
You're joking.
I feel like a virgin. Tell me everything. What's a
I'm
G-spot
a top
cream?
seller, so it's a cream, and you literally place it inside. So,
I don't
L-arginine is an ingredient that
know.
helps swelling,
Mhm.
so it makes it larger because that's something that people are like, "I can't reach it, I can't whatever." So, like, something I educate on is, like, putting that in, doing a, like, come hither with your I mean, that is a lost art. I did a video on that the other day. Fingering is a lost art. Like, why are men not doing this anymore?
I did a whole episode and it was entitled The Lost Art of Fingering, just
Like,
to
why
let
is
you
it
know.
not a thing anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
and making out. I feel like kissing, the longer you're married, maybe not for you or some people listening, but a lot of people lose the kiss as well.
and that's
The
important.
making out.
It's important.
It's yeah.
Which brings me to my oral gel with Covet. I
Mhm.
made it so that you could literally go from dick to make out, and it's not tasting like strawberry penis. It's a
Ah,
vanilla mint. It's a vanilla mint. So it
perfect.
has a cooling, but then it also tastes good. Like, when you were in high school and you put in that Orbit gum
Mhm,
and that
yeah.
like that's what I went for with this because there's nothing worse than and I sell it right now. I recommend products right now and everything's like fruit flavored or like
Mhm, mhm,
nobody wants strawberry flavored dick makeout.
mhm,
I would
mhm.
rather have a vanilla mint oral experience. And
Yeah.
that's the benefit of having a husband that is in the supplement space and formulates and understands flavors and
Ah, that's
basic.
perfect.
Yeah. So anyway, side note about that. But yes, yeah, there is a G-spot cream.
Okay, well, I need to get that. Okay, was there one more or did you do 5 and I'm stupid?
And I'm a butt plug girl. I'm an anal girl. Like a vibrating butt plug
For you
while you're
say.
having sex. And I'm one that likes it to be pretty. I love a flower. I love a
A
diamond.
gem?
I do love one that vibrates because there's nerve endings there. And if
I
you
have
need
lots of plugs, never had a vibrating one.
you've never girl, I feel like I
Never
just need to send you a box of
yeah,
shit. Like,
never had a
here you go.
vibrating
Let me
one.
pop your cherry that hasn't been popped.
I would love that, and I do love the sensation of fullness. So many girls that are like, "Nope, tried it once, I'll never do it again." I go, "That wasn't trying it. That was like what he slipped in you and traumatized you. Like there's a way to go about anal." But continue.
Yeah, so that would be it would be the plug, it would be the G-spot cream, the bench, the lube, and then that arousal. Oh, and I guess taken twice, that's 6, but
Were you ever afraid of anal and then became an anal girl?
yeah.
Or yeah, okay, aren't we all? So
Yeah,
that's just a testament to just because you think it's this horrific thing, you could be missing out. Totally different orgasm.
but you
Totally different.
also communication's key, like, you gotta let your partner know, like, you can't, like, with
No.
anal. Like, you can get to a point that there's a rhythm to it, but,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
you gotta ease into that, and I almost like to have orgasmed once already,
Mm.
orally, like,
And
before
I'm
we get.
gonna move like this much. Like for me, I like to stimulate my clit while it's in because to
Yeah,
me that changes everything. Any discomfort now has melted away and almost like heightened arousal for me.
yes.
It's like a fullness. Doesn't need to be someone like fucking your ass. It can
Uh,
look very different. And
yes.
always start with a finger, in my opinion, and vice versa. Like, I know there are men that are like, no one's gonna touch my butthole. Your prostate's there. I'm not saying you have to have a dildo shoved in your butt. You don't have, if you don't want to be pegged, awesome, awesome. But a little finger,
I love
being
it.
open minded, your prostate, your his male G spot, what
I
we
love
call it.
it, and that's just the sexuality thing too. It has nothing to do with sexuality when it comes
You
to. Yeah.
100%. And you know those Utah, I'm just stereotyping right now, but I'm thinking of all those down low Utah guys. That's horrible. But I'm like, there's so much shame. And I feel like that, I don't know. I watched that show, My Husband's Gay. Do you ever watch that? Not
No.
that putting a finger into us gay, duh. But I'm saying they were all Mormon. All the guys were Mormon. And they were just taught that it was like same sex attraction. Have you heard of that? No, SSA
Yeah.
men. I'm like,
Mm.
just let them be gay. And all the Utah influencer girls, not you, your authenticity shines through the computer screen. I promise. But so many of them, I shouldn't say their names because, like, I guess that's slanderous. Is that slanderous if I'm like allegedly you're a cunt? I don't know. But they seem like everything has to be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Like they look like they have the perfect life. They're a bone, and I'm like jealous of them that they're a bone when I'm sure their husbands would like them to have a little more meat to grab onto. But I look at them and I'm like, they're literally perfect. But that's not true. It's not true. What you see on social media is a lie.
So something that also leans into my brand. It's so funny how many like hidden messages are in
I
covet.
love that.
Um,
Little Easter eggs everywhere.
yes, little I love my T Swift
Yeah.
countdown to 12. Anyways, there's different shades of red in my Pantone colors that I chose. And the reason is because I feel like I carry a scarlet letter because I am a very large influencer in the state of Utah. And I am here to tell you that brands will not. And it is
Wait.
wild.
Wait, what do you mean? Will
Like, if
not
I
what?
wanted the blanket brand,
They're
like,
no,
it might
you're
be
not
there,
brand
but
safe.
or the cup brand, or this brand, or that brand, or whatever, like, I
I've
never get
dealt with
invited
that.
to events.
I've dealt with that before.
I've never and I'm like the crazy thing is brands, Beaver Butter, perfect example,
Mhm.
that tap into me, then quickly realize, "Oh, this bitch converts." It's not just
Mhm.
like a girl that's like, "Oh, this is cute, you should buy it," and then I'm asking them for money. I'm like, "No, let me show you what I can do." And now
Have
you're
you
just
ever sent
more.
your conversion rates, like, to other to brand
Oh,
safe and,
yeah.
like,
Mhm. But it's like it's not worth the risk, and I'm like, "You know what? I can
what
either paint
risk?
the table or I can build my own fucking table." And
Mhm.
everything is strategically built in a way, and I truly believe in this, and my mom said this to me the other day because I had 2 TikTok shop accounts taken down on Black Friday, vindictively, which is each of them were selling $50,000 a month so far, which it's
Wait,
fine.
how, what, where, who would where? I thought TikTok would, like that.
So they just mass reported me, and TikTok is a bitch. There is like, it's like when you get violations, it is what it is. Like one of the things was like another Utah brand that I'm friends with that I was talking about their like fragrance product, and I got flagged, but it was vindictively done. Like I say, it's just another day in paradise for me.
I'm
Lots of therapy.
sorry.
It's okay, but I've learned, and my mom said this. My mom's like, a year ago, you wouldn't be reacting the way you are, and you're just very much like, okay, cool, next, I'm just gonna build it bigger. And that's just
Mhm.
who I am and what I do. So, like, for a long time, it really bothered me, right? Because 'Cause I'm like, wait, this girl's not like, and look what I built, and look at my connections, and look what I can do, and look. I say this, and people buy. Like I tested it with the comfort sweats, the camel
I know
sweat.
what you're talking about.
I put them on and I sold 12 sets in like 2 hours. Like, I'm like, okay, I can sell anything. I can sell ice to an Eskimo. And so I've really landed in that space with my brand identity too, is like, okay, you don't want me at your table. You don't think what I have brings value because I'm here to tell you everyone has sex and there's a leverage you could take with any of this. I'm going to build my own table. And when you come knocking, the conversation is going to be real interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always hope, like, who was it? You know who Ari Kyatsa? You know that a Young Gravy, that rapper, his girlfriend. She calls herself a mattress actress. Okay, there's a really beautiful Gen Z female who is she's famous on TikTok, and she did a campaign recently with Urban Decay, and I was like, wow, like
Awesome.
okay, like this is cool. We see someone who's in this industry act to the extreme, right? Because it's like we're not making porn, we're not OnlyFans girls, we're literally educating and entertaining, and so you know what I mean? It's like it's and I feel like in Utah it'd be even worse for some reason. But I'm like, okay, maybe it's slowly the doors are going to open to enmeshing. I think some brands maybe might lean in. I feel like things hopefully will get better and better in that department. But I mean, bitches will be bitches. And usually the most judgmental ones are projecting, 100%.
Yeah. And the ones that do collaborate and work with me, they see it and they're like,
Mhm.
people are crazy. Like, I don't know why people are. And I'm like, it is what it is. But I mean, that's just part of my story. It's part of like what I've been through. And I don't build this for somebody to include me in something. I'm
Mhm.
building a world where everyone feels like they belong.
And you will keep finding your tribe. And I'm so excited for you to have a podcast. Okay, tell my audience how you work with people. Do you work with people or am I totally wrong? I can just take that sentence out. You
What
don't,
do you
do you
mean
work?
work with people? Give me an
o-
idea.
Okay, like what? No, when it said like intimacy coach, I can
Oh,
totally
yeah.
take this sentence
Okay.
out. Do you work with people or no? So I can
Yeah.
scratch that.
So I am one human. And
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
I told this to my husband the other day. I was like, man, if I could just make 10 of me, I get this request all the time. And
Okay,
I'm gonna be completely honest and
me too.
transparent.
Fuck that
I
shit.
would love to land there eventually, but I'm boss babing way too freaking hard right now. And it's like building a brand, formulating your own blues, like manufacturing devices, creating a brand identity and a storyline, and
hmm
hiring people and bringing people. Like, it's a
Don't work
bitch,
with
man.
people. No,
All
and
while we're creating content and taking care of your whole family. So, would I love to get to a space where Covet is launched? My content keeps evolving. Covet has its own identity where I have a little more time where I can make some more intimate connections and really work with people.
it's kind of
Yeah, but when I
energy
say I want it
draining.
to be more intimate, I do not want to be like every coach on the internet where they're like, just buy this course, buy this. I have random things that here's a sexting guide, whatever.
Yeah.
I definitely, my goal one day would for it to be more really like one-on-one. I don't just want it to be like everyone's different. We've talked about this like 7
Mhm.
times. Like I don't want
Mhm.
it to just be like, okay, here you go. Like I want it to have some passion behind it. And let's put that on my 10-year board. I think that would be a great place for me to land. Currently, sorry, no.
No, I just wondered, and like that's something where people have been like, "Would you be open to us paying for a Zoom call?" And I'm like, I don't have the credentials, like me personally,
No, got two.
and
Yeah.
but I'm honored that you like my advice enough where you want to talk. But I think you do have to be a certain personality type, like energetically, you are taking on a lot, and it's like you're one person, and you are just like you said, girl bossing really, really hard. Okay.
Well, and I lean in on the fact of like protecting people and liability. And like there are professionals in a space for a reason. And I'm not going to falsely promote myself in something that I legally can't take liability on
Mhm,
it.
mhm,
So,
mhm,
yeah.
100%. Okay, I wanted to know, we can segue out with this. What do you suggest for people, like new people who have found your page and maybe like they find you interesting, they find you intriguing, but they don't even know where to begin? Like maybe they're not comfortable, like, oh, I don't know, I want a sex swing. What do you say to the people who see your page and maybe feel a little scared?
Yeah.
And like, how
So
can they talk about that with their spouse if this is what they're wanting to dive into?
So it's so funny you say this. I was talking to somebody in the industry and they were saying to me how they had followed me for like 5 years, who's a brand owner. And they were like, there is no one else in this industry that talks about the products you talk about day in and day out in a way that it's safe. And this was coming from a male in this industry. And they say, when I say it's safe, everything in this industry is big boobs, tits out, no shame to a mattress actress or an OnlyFans
Mhm,
creator. I know people
mhm,
that are killing it, right? It's
mhm,
amazing. Good for
mm.
them. But like, I'm a safe space in relationships where they can take my video and send it to their wife, and their wife isn't threatened by it.
Yes,
And
yeah.
that's why I try and be vulnerable, and that's why I also try and share my life. And I get people that are like, "Why are you sharing a picture of your kid and your I'm like, "Because I need you to know
I'm a
that sex is
person.
normal and it's not taboo, and I am a person, and you can't." So if you come to my page and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know," just know, stay a while. You're gonna see the stories of the stupid elf shit I do with my kid. You're gonna see me talking about the time that I didn't know Alaska wasn't an island. You're gonna see shit like it's a little
Wait,
bit of everything, and then
it's an
come
island?
it's not. I thought it was
Oh, that's
'cause on
okay,
the
I forgive
map
you.
you know that Instagram trend right now where it's like, "I'm not worried about my husband looking at my phone and seeing messages. I'm
Yeah,
worried about
yeah,
this," and it's a calculator. I
yeah.
did a Google, and it said, "Is Alaska an island?" Because I legitimately thought it was, because on the map, it's floating over here by freaking Hawaii,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, that's fucking hilarious,
Yeah,
and I
and
love
a lot of
it.
people commented and they were like, "I thought this too. The map is fucked up. They need to fix that map." I'm like,
Can
"I
you
agree." Yes. And I'm like, "Why the frick do we have a country in the middle? Why don't we just take it all? Like, this is weird."
That's
Anyways,
hilarious.
but I just say my DMs are open and I really have a system and an awesome team. And I know that makes people feel uncomfortable. Like, you have a team, it's not you. No, it's me. But if I want to help the world in the way that I want to,
Mhm.
we got to bring an army of people. So my DMs are open, no questions offensive, but I don't want your dick pic and I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
block.
yeah, 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 yeah. If I see an image and tap, I don't tap it.
Nope.
Mommy,
No.
don't tap it.
No. Don't need your dick pic. Thank you.
I could talk to you for days. I could talk to you for hours. Like, you're so easy and fun to talk to, and you know so much. Tell my audience where they can find you, find your tings, stay in the loop for all your launches, etc.
Yeah. So Instagram at it's Cassidy Bybee. I do have a backup just because it's my insurance policy. So
Mhm.
there's that intimacy chick Instagram also. Covet's Instagram handle is just this little blank space right now because there's a strategy behind it, but I know I need to start telling people about it because it's coming and there'll be more on there coming soon, very shortly. So Covet is the world of Covet on Instagram. And I should probably put the logo up there so people know. But yeah, that's Covet. Um, Facebook, Cassidy Bybee, that intimacy chick. Um, TikTok, it's Cassidy Bybee, that intimacy chick.
I'll put this, what you just said, in the episode notes because I've noticed people will find the podcast and like start from the beginning or work their way back.
Yeah.
So, this episode could be listened to for the first time in February. So I'll make sure to put all of those links in the episode notes below. And I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing and being so open and vulnerable and transparent about what goes on in your own life. And I'm super excited for you. I admire you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for asking me and believing in me. And you're based in California?
In Washington State.
Washington. Okay. Well, I'm going to be doing a launch event in LA. So I'll make sure, maybe, hopefully, we can figure
Yeah.
it out where you
Yeah,
can.
I would lo
I would love for you
I've
to be there.
I would love to, like, go for a weekend and record a bunch of shows. Every other show on this network is in LA, so that would be really fun. I would
Yes.
love to
Stay
support you.
tuned. And even if you don't want to go to LA and you want to
I
go to New
do.
York or Utah, I'm planning free. So get
I'd rather
ready.
go to LA.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you for having me. You're the best. And hopefully I didn't offend anybody with
Yeah.
any of it.
Absolutely not. Thanks, Cassidy.
Hey, thanks.
I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. If you're listening and you liked today's episode or any episode or the show in general, please leave me 5 stars on Apple Podcast and write a review. Really helps. You can leave me a rating on Spotify. You can watch the show if you're not already watching on Spotify and or YouTube. Find me on socials at THH Pod, on TikTok at THH Podcasts. And I will see you next Monday. Love you long time.